I'm a senior lecturer here at Liverpool Hope, a senior lecturer in criminology that is. I did my PhD at the University of Huddersfield, and I've done research on various types of extremism, from the Northern Irish conflict all the way through to the spread of extremism and radicalisation in online spaces. And most recently my research is looking at the spread of toxic misogyny in the manosphere, and particularly in incel discussion spaces. Some of the studies that I was doing when I was working in political science started to broach onto political extremism. And so gradually over time I became more and more interested in criminology as a subject. But my first substantive post as a criminologist was here at Liverpool Hope. So I guess thanks to the institution for giving me the opportunity to spread my wings as a criminologist. A few of us working in the criminology team were interested in the phenomenon of incels and the incelosphere more broadly. There was my colleague Antoinette Huber, who was, at the time, she was writing about the spread of misogyny in terms of revenge porn and online sexual abuse. There was myself, who was interested in radicalisation and the way that radicalisation techniques spread in online spaces. So we got our heads together and we realised that there was an area of crossover in regard to incels. So myself, Antoinette, and our other colleague Mark Littler, who was the subject lead for criminology at the time, the three of us started working on a few projects that related to this crossover between misogyny and extremism. It was that Antoinette and I decided that it would be interesting to do a paper where we evaluated what we currently knew about incels from the broad pool of existing research, and areas where we could push on to develop new avenues of research. We were interested in getting a sense of the key themes that came out of it so that we could evaluate where the field was strong and where the field was weak. And we came across certain ideas that underpinned our own paper. So for instance, we noticed that most of the research that had taken place was happening in ways that didn't require any contact with incels. They were based on the idea of scraping information from incel forums. Antoinette and I argued that this is useful research and very helpful, but wouldn't it be also good if we could get more interaction, more interviews, more surveys done with people who were participating in that incel community to broaden our knowledge. We were also interested in the role that misogynistic pornography played in terms of bonding different members of the incel community together, and the role it played in spreading toxic misogyny more generally. We were interested in the question of where does the distinction lay between incels, if we like, who are the most radicalised, the most extreme, and others who are more fringe participants within the community, and whether people would gradually just grow out of incel extremism and participation in misogynistic communities as they grew older, for instance. And generally speaking, we just asked for a more engaging, a more human-focused approach to researching incels so that we could widen out our knowledge. And the paper has been quite successful. It's been cited quite a lot in subsequent publications, so other academics, I think, are reading that work. They have taken certain lessons from it, and we are finding that we're getting a lot of citations and people are approaching us wanting to discuss the work further. And what we wanted to do with the article was effectively to start a discussion about widening out methodological approaches to incel research, and generally looking beyond what the core material, which is all focused about internet forum scraping. We have seen that the paper has had some impact. Some people have critiqued our work, and we welcome that, because part of this sort of critical discussion between academics is what we wanted to stimulate. But many other people have been quite complimentary about our work and have used it to guide their own work going forward. So it's already been successful. and we hope to see more success in the future.